Wins all the time. This is 10-10 Wins on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. It's 78 degrees at 12:20 on this Sunday, June 14th. I'm Bud Mishkin. Here's what's happening. New York, it is no dream. After 53 years, the New York Knicks are once again champions of the NBA. They beat the Spurs 94-90 Saturday night in Game 5 in San Antonio to clinch the title, the team's first since 1973. The Knicks epitomize a team, but on this night it was the Jalen Brunson show. Brunson led the way with 45 points, almost half of the Knicks' total. Mayor Mamdani has announced that the ticker tape parade for the Knicks will be on Thursday, June 18th. Unfortunately, trouble in Times Square with celebrating fans going into a school bus, and there are reports of arrests and people jumping up on top of the buses. And on this same day, opening night for the World Cup at the Meadowlands, a 1-1 draw between Brazil and Morocco. Sports, along with the Knicks and the World Cup, Yankees beat Toronto. The Mets lost to the Braves. AccuWeather overnight clear to partly cloudy and warm, a low of 71, but lower 60s in many of the suburbs. Wins News Time, 12:21. Let's get you where you need to go with Liam Flynn.
I've got my eyes on Times Square. 8th Avenue and 42nd Street completely shut down. That is the site of the buses that are just being absolutely wrecked by these Knicks fans, as we're seeing it on our 10-10 Wins Jam Cam. At least about 50 people on top of one of these. There's about 3 or 4 school buses along 8th Avenue. The moral of the story, you just want to avoid Midtown Manhattan and stay on the edge of the city. The West Side Highway, your West Side alternate, and 1st and 2nd Avenue is where you want to be on the east side. Avoid the FDR Drive northbound. There are delays getting past the Williamsburg Bridge, and then again from the Queensboro all the way up to the RFK with construction work. Southbound Harlem River Drive starts to slow out of the 140s to the RFK, and more brake lights on the southbound FDR Drive out of the 20s into East Houston, all construction work related. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Outbound lower level of the George Washington Bridge, that is closed for the overnight. So the upper level, the only thing moving to New Jersey. A 25-minute wait from the westbound Cross Bronx. Inbounds, both levels are moving well into the city. About 25 minutes out at the Lincoln Tunnel, you're not going to be able to move once you get into the city, so try the Holland in either direction. And on the Jersey side, the Newark Bay Extension, where you want to be. Liam Flynn, 10-10 Wins on 92.3 FM.
It's over! It's over! Knick fans, this is not a dream! Your long, long wait has ended! Go ahead and cry. After 53 years, the Knicks are finally NBA champions once again!
The great Mike Breen with the call on ABC, ESPN. For the first time since 1973, the Knicks are champions of the NBA. Another comeback win in Game 5 against a very talented but a very young, inexperienced Spurs team. 94-90 the final. Jalen Brunson was the star of the show. 45 points on the night, almost half of the Knicks' point total.
We're going to find a way. Whatever you put in front of us, we're going to find a way. It doesn't matter. It does not matter whatsoever. We're going to find a way every single time we step on this court. Every time. Every time.
Again, that audio courtesy of ESPN, ABC. The 613 omen worked. The Knicks Hall of Fame coach Red Holtzman had 613 career wins, and tonight the Knicks won a championship on June 13th. Yes, 6-13. The Knicks again were down by double figures, though not 29 points, and they had to come back. And in the last few minutes, the Knicks defense tightened. The Spurs offense wilted.
4-point lead. Here comes Fox. 5 seconds remaining. Fox to Wemby. Wemby tries a 3, puts it up, off the mark. Anunoby the rebound. It's over. It's over.
Again, the great Mike Breen with the call on ABC ESPN. After the game, the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver presenting the championship trophy.
It is over. To Jim Dolan, Leon Rose, William Wesley, Coach Brown, and this incredible team. Congratulations. You're the 2026 NBA champion.
Breaking news now on 10-10 Wins.
And the breaking news after the game is that the parade is now scheduled for Thursday, June 18th.
But it's a rare accomplishment. the way we supported the team. Knicks fans are the most diehard fans in the world, so to get something after all these years.
Fans tell me they've waited years, even decades for this moment, and now they're finally celebrating a championship.
That not only are we the #1 city in the world, the #1 country, we have the #1 basketball team!
They say they still can't believe what they just watched.
I knew it was going to be in 5.
The excitement is everywhere as fans soak in this historic night for New York basketball.
New York, we alive again. They thought we was dead? Nah.
Shanice Archer, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Canarsie.
A very sweet post-game scene. Many of the great Knicks of the past made the trip to San Antonio, including Clyde, Walt Frazier, who had the greatest Game 7 ever, Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Allen Houston, and Charles Oakley was there. He has been on the outs with James Dolan and the franchise, and more than on the outs, but he was there and applauded by the Knicks crowd there. There are millions of us who grew up with and loved the Knicks of the two championship teams, 1970 and 73. Walt Frazier, Bill Bradley, the late Willis Reed, Dr. Dick Barnett, and Dave DeBusschere. All of them are smiling on these Knicks who play like a team and have made this a very special night for New York and New Yorkers. For the first time in 53 years, the New York Knicks will wake up in the morning as NBA champions. Wins News Time at the Tone, 12:30.
Good morning. I am Stephanie Officer. New public art installations have been unveiled at the historic Harlem River houses. The murals, created by local artists, honoring the community's history, culture, and residents. John Souza is the program director of nonprofit Art Bridge. Tells 1010 Wins about why one of the murals is so special.
We had the super that worked in the building, and everybody knows, but he wanted to be highlighted because he ran in the Olympics in Haiti many years ago, and nobody knew that from the community. So they saw his image in the mural, and it's him running. And if you only know this person as a super, it was a great example of how, these other stories can come through.
You never know what people have gone through. The event marks the completion of the public art portion of the Harlem River Houses Preservation Initiative. Wins News Time, 12:31. Let's get you where you need to go, Liam Flynn.
Let's stay away from Midtown tonight, at least for the time being, between 5th and 10th Avenues and between 23rd Street and 42nd Street. I mean, everything is just gridlocked. Taking a look at Times Square right now, 7th and 8th Avenues near 42nd Street. We have thousands, and I am not kidding, thousands of people out on the roadways, up on top of school buses, now a city bus in the mix. You want to stay on the west side, and on the east side, 1st and 2nd Avenues, your alternates. You want no part of the FDR Drive. A lot of construction tonight either way, especially northbound from the Queensboro up to the RFK. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Outbound lower level of the George Washington Bridge closed overnight, a 25 to 30-minute wait for the upper level from the westbound Cross Bronx. You'll do better coming off of the Deegan. Inbound, both levels are moving well. Avoid the Lincoln Tunnel in and out of town because on the New York side, nobody's moving. So the Holland is where you go instead. About 5 extra minutes now with all that alternate traffic. And once you're on the Jersey side, go for the Newark Bay extension to avoid a crash on the outbound Pulaski Skyway. Liam Flynn, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Now let's get into your official 1010 Wins AccuWeather forecast for all of your overnight celebrations, because guess what, New York City? We are your NBA champions. Finals, the New York Knicks. Well, let's check in with AccuWeather meteorologist Troy Thornton.
Look forward to staying warm through the early morning hours with just a few clouds at times and a low dropping to 71 in the city with lower 60s for many of the suburbs. Then for later today, we'll have some sun to start, but more clouds build in through the day. It's another rather warm day with a bit more humidity arriving during the afternoon, leading to the risk for a heavy gusty thunderstorm or two through the late afternoon and into the evening. Any storm may bring damaging winds, perhaps even some heavy downpours with a high of 86 later today. Then for the rest of Sunday night, we'll dry out as the clouds break. It turns out cooler with a low of 63. With a couple of rather similar days in store for Monday and Tuesday, the humidity stays low with plenty of sunshine and a high of 79 Monday, 78 Tuesday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist LaTroy Thornton on New York's weather station 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Experts across the Northeast are warning of a bad tick season. They say they've seen an uptick in activity in metro places like here in the city, where health officials say cases of tick-borne diseases have been trending upward. The Fordham Tick Index, which measures the risk of encountering ticks indoors in our area, is currently at a risk level of 8 out of 10. Emergency rooms across the country also reporting higher than normal visits for tick bites. bites. Experts say the rise in cases may be linked to climate change. So what can you do to protect yourself? You can check your pets for ticks after walks very carefully. Remember, get in the fur and all that jazz. Tuck your pants into your socks when you're out at the park. Not the sexiest look, but guess what? It'll keep you safe. And seek medical treatment if you develop any symptoms. Well, there's a trend here in the city for those who can't afford to pay rent. The Wall Street Journal says some people are now living with nuns, renting at convents throughout the city. One woman says she paid Sacred Heart residents in Chelsea about $1,650 a month, which is well below the city's median asking rent of $3,600. She then lived at St. Mary's residence on the Upper East Side, paying $1,200 a month. Other residences in the outer boroughs charge less than $1,000 a month. Places have curfews and other rules, including no alcohol and no male visits at women's houses. A woman has been critically injured in a shark attack in Australia. The woman in her 30s, she was swimming along the shore of a beach in Sydney today, or rather yesterday, when alarms sounded to get everyone out of the water. New South Wales Ambulance Inspector Mike Corliss.
She has quite massive wounds to her left lower leg and her arms. She's been stabilised by the medical teams and paramedics on scene. She's been transported by road to St Vincent's Hospital in a serious to critical condition.
Well, this is the fourth shark attack in Australia. Since May 16th alone, the other three were fatal and involved people who were spearfishing. One city, one news station, 1010 wins.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. We've got 78 degrees, cloudy skies, 1240 on your Sunday, June 14th. A new week. Welcome to it. I'm Stephanie Officer. Here's what's happening.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Because your New York Knickerbockers are the 2026 NBA Finals champions, breaking a 53-year losing streak. Meanwhile, the World Cup competing against the finals, international fans swarming New York and New Jersey. The commander-in-chief announces his pick to lead the Southern District of New York. The UFC fight on the White House lawn forges ahead later on today.
Right now, in this space, because it's real.
That's Mano speaking to me about the first ever Let's Rap About It Live podcast. Okay, in sports, what are we talking about? The Knicks, the New York Knicks, beat the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio 94-90 to clinch the ever-elusive to the New York Knicks before now NBA Finals Championship. When's news time? 12:41. Let's get you where you need to go. Liam Flynn.
Well, taking a look at Midtown right now, and yeah, you can tell that the Knicks won. 5th through 10th Avenues just gridlocked and if not completely closed. 7th Avenue closed between 42nd Street and 23rd. And we just have thousands of people out on the streets right now. If you're in a car, head to the West Side Highway, head to 1st or 2nd Avenues. Instead, avoid the FDR Drive. A lot of construction there tonight. Northbound from the 30s all the way up to the RFK Bridge, and southbound on the Harlem River Drive. Everybody slow from the 140s to the RFK. And the southbound FDR slows again en route to the Brooklyn Bridge. A closure in Queens now, and here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. The westbound side of the Southern State Parkway, bumper to bumper from Franklin Avenue and Valley Stream out to the Cross Island, because the northbound Cross Island is closed just north of the Southern State. So instead, you could use Hempstead Turnpike, take that to the Cross Island Parkway. Instead, if you're coming off of the Belt Parkway, maybe go up the northbound Van Wyck to the Grand Central Parkway. The Northern State and Long Island Expressway are moving well, and here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Outbound lower level of the George Washington Bridge closed overnight for construction work. They are setting up construction on the inbound upper level, so go low into town. Avoid the Lincoln in either direction with all of that Midtown gridlock. And about 5 extra minutes home at the Holland Tunnel. Liam Flynn, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Breaking news now on 1010 Wins.
Hey, you already know New York City, we are the champions. In the words of Queen and Freddie Mercury, please believe me when I say our New York Knicks are your 2026 NBA Finals champs, snapping a 53-year streak.
It's over. Knicks fans, this is not a dream. Your long, long wait has ended. Go ahead and cry. After 53 years, the Knicks are finally NBA champions once again.
More from our Shanice Archer.
The wait is finally over. The Knicks are NBA champions.
That not only are we the number one city in the world, the number one country, we have the number one basketball team.
The heart is beating again. It's
Fans are going crazy, celebrating a title decades in the making.
We needed this win. I'm just hoping that people realize it's a time for us to come together.
Some fans tell me they never stopped believing this day would come.
But this is so great. Love the positive energy that it's bringing to the city.
This team, no doubt. The way Brunson played, OG, Cat, nice team. I had faith all the time.
From cheers to tears, fans say they'll remember this night for the rest of their lives. Shanice Archer, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Canarsie.
And that's right. You're not going to hear the end of that anytime soon. Mayor Mamdani announced the city will host a ticker tape parade at City Hall, honoring the team and awarding the keys to the city to that team on Thursday, June 18th. The celebration marks the first ticker tape parade in Knicks history through the Canyon of Heroes. And it's going to honor a team that delivered the NBA championship to a city that waited generations for this moment. Additional details, including parade logistics, ceremony information, and other instructions will be released today, later on today, June 14th. Wins News Time. 12:46. 8 firefighters, 4 NYPD officers, all suffering minor injuries in a Queens fire today, or rather yesterday. Authorities say that blaze started in a mid-rise building on Denman Street in Elmhurst Saturday. The extent of the firefighters' injuries at this point unknown. 2 others taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The cause now under investigation. President Trump has named James McDonald as U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. McDonald will replace Jay Clayton, who Trump nominated last week to be Director of National Intelligence. McDonald was a one-time personal attorney to Trump during the appeal of his Manhattan hush money conviction, which is still pending. At the time, Trump was convicted of 34 felony counts for concealing a $130,000 payment to porn star Stormy Daniels. If confirmed to the role of U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, McDonald would oversee the most prestigious of the Justice Department's prosecution offices, with a vast portfolio ranging from terrorism and espionage cases to security fraud and public corruption. Speaking of the president, the White House is hosting a UFC event on the South Lawn today after a judge refused to block the event Friday.
The show will go on after a federal judge overnight rejected a last-minute lawsuit that tried to stop a cage fight from unfolding on the South Lawn. The lawsuit claimed the star-studded event is, quote, deeply corrupt, using public land to benefit President Trump and his allies, noting UFC is selling VIP packages for as much as $1.5 million a person. But the judge said they couldn't prove they were personally harmed by it and sided with the Trump administration. Now, a weekend full of events will kick off in just a matter of hours, with the main event on Sunday night.
Olivia Rubin with that report. The event, known as UFC Freedom 250, is scheduled to begin at 8 p.m. Eastern and will be shown on Paramount+. Anthropic is pulling the plug on 2 of its most powerful artificial intelligence models.
The Trump administration is issuing an export control directive, which is intended to bar all foreign nationals from accessing 2 Anthropic models, Fable 5 and Mythos 5. In order to comply, Anthropic has to shut down access for everyone, it says, including its own foreign national employees. The models raised concerns they could be used to identify flaws in the cybersecurity systems of governments or businesses. Anthropic instituted strict guardrails on Fable and hasn't released Mythos to the general public at all. Mike Dubosky, ABC News.
Earlier this year, the Trump administration tried and failed to designate Anthropic as a supply chain risk after the company refused to allow its tech to be used in certain war scenarios. Right now, we are looking at 78 degrees under clear skies right here in Midtown. A beautiful night to celebrate the win of the New York Knicks, the historic win. All of you will know exactly where you were when the New York Knicks finally won a NBA championship after 53 years. We're clear to partly cloudy and warm. A low of 71, lower 60s in many suburbs. Your full AccuWeather forecast, plus a check of your commute, which is hectic, especially if you're in Midtown. Right here on 1010 Wins, just a minute away from you. Wins News Time, 12:50. The New York Knicks are your 2026 NBA champs. We'll get to that, but first. Wins News Time, 12:51. Let's get you where you need to go through all the fray. AccuWeather. Liam Flynn.
All of this commotion through Midtown, I mean, that is just not the right word for it. It is just a madhouse in between 5th and 10th Avenues, 23rd up to 42nd Streets. I mean, my goodness, thousands of people out in the streets. If you're driving a car through Manhattan, head to the west side, head to 1st or 2nd Avenues instead. Avoid the FDR Drive northbound, all clogged up from the 23rd Street exit all the way up to the RFK Bridge. And the southbound Harlem River Drive is slow from out of the 150s now to the RFK. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. They are setting up construction now at the inbound upper level of the George Washington Bridge and holding all traffic to do so. Inbound lower level where you go instead. Outbound, no lower level available for us, at least not tonight with overnight construction work. The upper level, a 25-minute wait for the westbound Cross Bronx. You want no part of the Lincoln Tunnel in either direction because that means Midtown at some point in your journey. So go to the Holland instead. An extra 5 minutes out of town. And in Queens, the northbound Cross Island Parkway is closed coming off of the Southern State and Belt Parkways. If you're coming from the Southern State, use Hempstead Turnpike instead, and coming off of the Belt, the northbound Van Wyck is your alternate. Liam Flynn, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Now for your official 1010 Wins AccuWeather forecast to begin your week, meteorologist LaTroy Thornton.
The early morning brings a clear sky much of the time with warm conditions continuing, although the humidity generally remains in check with a low of 71. And for the rest of today, sunshine to start gives way to more clouds. It stays rather warm with a bit more humidity arriving through the day. Watch for a heavy, gusty late day or evening thunderstorm. Any storm may bring some downpours as well with a high of 86 later today before the clouds break later Sunday night and cooler air returns as the low drops to 63, leading to a wonderful start to the new week. Both Monday and Tuesday bring plenty of sunshine, more comfortable conditions with low humidity, especially by mid-June standards with a high of 79 Monday, 78 Tuesday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist LaTroy Thornton on New York's weather station 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Now to Pride celebrations around the world.
LGBTQ plus supporters marched in the streets of Bucharest, the capital of Romania, Saturday, in their annual Gay Pride Parade. Organizer Vlad Visky says Romania is one of the last three